Nah, you continue to be the most devious person I know.
Hey guys, it's Bots Obsession. There's been a lot of talk in the Discord on whether or not Laserfire should be updated or should get updated or will get updated. If you don't know who Laserfire is, this is Laserfire, my channel mascot, and his target master Shattershock. They're customs I did to help promote the channel. And he is based on a Combiner Wars mold. It's a bit outdated by today's standards. We talked about what molds could be used and what could be done to make a modern Legacy Laserfire. We decided on the Transformers Legacy United Chase and Cliff Jumper mold. We also decided that using these two, we should be able to get a pretty good kit bash out of it with very little painting having to be done to it. I want to be able to play with my toys. I don't want to have to worry about paint scratching or anything, so a kit bash actually works really well for me. Laserfire has a custom 3D printed head. I do have the file for it, so it's just a matter of making sure that the file can fit and work. We're going to break this down into some steps. I think that teardown of both figures is the most important. Making sure that the head is going to fit is the second most important, but the thing that I can do today is work on Shattershock. Now, Shattershock here is a Siege Target Master with a Toy Hacks Autobot symbol here and some paint on the arms. Now, I'm pretty sure I actually have another mold mate for this, and I talked to the actual inspiration of Shattershock. I talked to the human equivalent, Mio. I think we can do some stuff to this to make Shattershock stand out a little bit more, because right now it's just a straight repaint of, I believe, Aimless, but I think we can do some kit bashing here as well as some painting to really make this thing stand out. Because something I would love to do is strip down all the paint. As you can see, there's some scuffing and scratching and chipping, and yeah, definitely could use a new paint job, as well as some part swapping to make sure everything works. And I think in my bin, I have a blowpipe. There we go. That is what we're looking for. So the differences between these are almost like non-existent. It's just the limbs and the backpack. And I did text Mio. She said she doesn't want to swap the backpacks, but she said that she liked the thighs on this one better, and I kind of like how the thighs go into like go-go boots almost, like they're like big stompy boots, which I'm a fan of gals with big boots. So I think we're going to take the legs off this and put them onto Shattershock. Let's just make sure those fit. I do like the way the legs look with the arms. That works pretty well, and these will get sprayed and primed white. The question is, can it still transform? Now, I'm 90% sure that this still transforms with these legs. And let's slot. Oh, there we go. Yep. Slots in. Looks pretty good. No missile spam on the top, but I kind of prefer the flat look. So I think that'll work perfectly. So step 2, we're going to strip all the paint off, which is going to be a little sad to do. Alrighty boys, so if you've never stripped paint off of a Transformer, especially custom paint, there's a really easy way to do it. We are going to be removing the paint from the 3 parts that we are going to be using, as well as the former pieces. These will be going onto this figure, and I'm just going to pop them on and throw them in my storage bin for custom fodder. So take yourself some 91% isopropyl alcohol. You get yourself a little container. In this case, I'm going to use a shot glass because Shattershock is very small. And you just want to fill this bad boy up. Take your parts, plop, plop, and plop. And let them sit in there for hour, 2 hours. Even better if you have a covered container. If you have a way to either cover this or just like a jar even. Works even better. So I'm just going to put a little piece of paper on there and let that work. It's magic, and we'll come back to this in a little bit, and I'm going to use a toothbrush to scrape off the paint. I started cleaning the parts off, and then I realized that I was getting little white paint specks all over my desk. So I'm going to take these outside and finish cleaning them, and I'm literally just taking them and brushing them with the toothbrush to get all the paint off. But it has gotten on my lamp, it's gotten over here. I'm gonna try and wipe off what I can, but yeah, we're gonna take this outside. So we got the paint cleared off, I got the parts dried. So there is Shattershock pre paint. So it's been a while since I've seen these gray parts. I forgot that they were just like that gray. Yeah, no damage to the parts whatsoever. They do feel slightly a little grainy. I assume that's because like all the coats of paint sitting on them and now finally coming off. We are going to now remove all of these limbs. There we go. Really, really gently. We're going to get these primed, painted, and then start doing the additional paint details on these. So we got the parts painted up. I'm sorry, there's a fan blowing on, but already that white is so much cleaner on those than the previous white. Like, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, like doing it justice, but these look fantastic with that white rattle can top, like not even top coat, just base coat. So probably gonna let these dry for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then I'll start doing the paint on them, and then we'll clear coat them. Might do a second coat, but I think we're just gonna do the one, add on the paint, and then do 2 coats of clear coat. Okay, thank you Diaclona for uploading while this was curing, essentially. Anyway, here is Shattershock in her new deco. We've gotten rid of the silver for the most part and just gone with straight white, blue, and orange. Did the circles over here, did some striping for the toes and the knees, and I think this looks really good. I'm really, really happy with the way the white came out. We've clear coated. Obviously, one of the most important things, how does the gun mode look? So we're going to do that. I did make sure to tack off these tabs back here to hopefully prevent as much paint scuffing as possible. Same thing with the underarms, just for sake of not scuffing, I'm not going to tab anything in. And we have a glorious white and orange blaster here. I adore how this looks. It is so vibrant compared to the old paint job that I did. I am very, very happy with this. Yes, these don't have the silver on them anymore. They do still have the orange stripe, little orange disc in the center. Yeah, full honesty, I totally fuck with this. This is such a good update, in my opinion. It's so subtle. It's really just the change of the legs and then the color scheme getting a bit of an update, a little simplified, if not to match the legacy aesthetic, which is a bit more simplified. And I quite like this white and orange kind of energy blaster gun mode. I really do like it. And then, you know, robot mode is where the blue really comes out. So I'm very happy with this. Tomorrow we'll be able to kind of show off like a mock-up ostensibly of what Laserfire and Shattershock will look like in their legacy incarnations. Really happy with this. So let's keep it going. So we got in the Laserfire donor parts part 1 today. We finished up Shattershock yesterday, and the feedback from the Discord was very good. Thank you all for saying those very nice things. Thank you for the Instagram for also saying very nice things. Yeah, so Shattershock is done. We got the donor body. This is a Legacy Cliff Jumper, and he does have all the accessories. I have the core blaster, the 2 little doohickeys, and then the claws, which, hang on, the claws. So we have all those. The only thing that's wrong with this figure is he's missing his the second horn. You see he has this little spur right there. He doesn't have that right there. I'm assuming it was a factory error. But it will get new life. We're going to use it. We're going to use this figure as our donor figure and give it new life. The chest, 100%, is something that I want to use. The arms, the lower arms, are something I want to use. And then I want to keep the hips, thighs, and knees, and the wheels, and it looks like the wheels are all mushroom pegged, so that's really nice. There's a cap pin right here, which are notoriously kind of hard, but there is the access point right here, so I think I can just punch that pin and then replace it with Chase's legs whenever we get the Legacy Chase. And then the toughest part is going to be the head. Now, if you know Legacy Cliffjumper, you know that his arms are a little droopy. He has some droopy shoulders, and slip that through, there's a screw right there. Apparently, if you tighten that, it helps the shoulders stay up. We're actually going to remove that entirely because it looks like that's what the head is attached to, and I need to get the head off. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to measure the head, and I'm going to test fit the Laserfire head on there and just see how it works. Let's try it out. The Cliffjumper mold is such a classy figure. I kind of forget how nice it is. I've only ever handled it for that video review, and then I gave it to my aunt. So having another one being able to kind of like see it in its full glory, I guess, is nice. Like I've genuinely enjoyed like handling this mold just a little bit. And if I wasn't using this for a custom, this would be a perfect stand-in for like a just robot mode cliff jumper. But all right, we got that off. Yep, it's just on a little plate right there, comes right off. Okay, perfect. This is also good to know because now I can see how these are assembled, because we're going to be getting rid of these top shoulder parts. We're going to be unmushroom pegging them from cliff jumper, and it looks like I can do that just by bending the elbow. You can see it has this little stopper right there. But it looks like I can do unhook those and replacing these with Chase's shoulders whenever we get him. But for now, let's just test fit the head and see how that works. Okay, so I've already noticed the problem. So the Legacy cliff jumper mold, it has this ball joint right here. The mold that Laserfire uses has this ball joint, which is noticeably slightly smaller. So I can't perfect test fit the head. What I'm gonna have to do is size these heads like next to each other, and just looking at it, it looks like I may have to shrink Laserfire's head just a hair and then add a new ball joint socket. So I'm gonna have to do that in Fusion and then just start designing the head. So I'm gonna get the file for this, and yeah, it looks like that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now. So it is 9:30 of day 2. I've cut my thumb. The custom has drawn blood. So after spending the day playing around with the cliff jumper, we did get the head done. I have that sent off to my friend Gara, so that way I can get the 3D print. And I've done a bit of a teardown. So things that we are using off this guy: I have the wheels removed because we're going to use the silver rims from the cliff jumper mold. We're going to be using the chest. We're going to be using these forearms. We're going to be using the hips. I'll talk about this in a little bit. We're going to be trying to save the legs too, and then we're going to replace these red boots with the blue boots from Chase. We're going to replace these red shoulders with the blue shoulders from Chase, and then I want to replace this bumper part, this part right here, with the blue one from Chase as well, which means that he will have a white grundle, but I think it's on gray plastic, so I might be able to like strip the paint off it and then have a gray one, which will blend in a little bit better. We'll find out when we get there. Other things that I didn't think we were going to be able to save. I also did remove the other horn thing, the grill piece from the foot, because I thought maybe I could put a red stripe down the center and have him have like half and half boots, and that'd be really cool. But this foot is attached to this inside section, so that just won't work. But I did find out that these headlight inserts are separate, so I'm going to be using cliff jumpers, so that way Chase has none of the clear plastic, plus they have those nice silver paint around them, so that's going to look really good. The wing section too, by the way, those are also going to be coming off of Chase, and that's because in vehicle mode he'll just have the red doors, and then the blue from those wing sections, they only exist to fill in a gap in the vehicle mode and then just be kibble on the back. It'll blend nicer with the arms in vehicle mode, and that's kind of what I want to look. I know the vehicle mode is going to look a little rough no matter what, but here's hoping that it doesn't. I'm hoping the head is the correct size. I had to scale down the other Laserfire's head. I had to scale down his head a little bit and add a bit of a neck, and then I also put it into 2 pieces. So hopefully it'll work. We'll find out tomorrow. Chase should be here. I'm going to double check the arrival time on that, and then we can start assembling the body, and then we just have to wait on the head. Today's package was Legacy Chase from Id Armed. So thank you, Id. This is the last piece that we need. Yesterday we did some teardown on this, the cliff jumper mold. So now we just need to take the parts off of Chase that we need and install them onto cliff jumper there. Now I did mention yesterday when we talked about it that we were going to be removing this piece, so we're just going to basically be going over this to make sure that all the things that I want to remove are installed the same way as they were on this. I do know that Coronation Starscream notably uses screws, while the standard Seeker mold uses pins. So I'm wondering if, because this was in a 4-pack, maybe it's assembled different. Just one of those things that you notice when you're trying to customize things. First thing, we're just going to remove all the accessories here. Whether or not these end up getting used will be a different story. I do have this DK breaker box right here that I've been tossing the accessories into. I do like the blue claw, and Laserfire's colors are blue, so we may end up using that. Yeah, this is molded on, which is what I thought. Okay, so let's just start popping things. We can actually just straight up remove these because they shouldn't be pinned in. These should just be frictioned in, so we can just brute force those off. Open this, open that, and then bring all this up. Yes, it still looks like screws and looks like screws. So everything here should be able to be removed. So let's start the teardown. Yeah, so we're just gonna start removing all the pieces that I want from the cliff jumper. These are gonna get swapped out, and then this is gonna get swapped out. The only difficult part I foresee happening is this pin right here, which do have a pin punch. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it later once we get like things kind of mocked up here. So I'm just gonna set that. Actually, I'll need that. And then these arms. Id Armed sent me this, and I'm de-arming the figure. If I like that gray piece, I might end up using it. Let me grab my multi-driver. And there we go. Do be careful with toy screws. I will say, like, toy screws strip so easily, so if you are planning on doing like some custom work on toys, do be very careful with your toy screws. Okay. Come on. Yeah, this one is. There we go. Okay. Also, make sure you have like a good spot to put all your parts. I'm using this box, as I showed yesterday, to kind of store everything. Won't be using those. We'll need these. Let's install the. Okay. Fit is good. Looks pretty alright. Looks about how I expected it to, so. We also don't need these wheels. So we're just gonna pop those off. If it'll let me. There we go. Toss those in there. Okay, there are the arms. So now we just got to do the same for the cliff jumper. Alrighty. That is in. I have tightened this a little bit so that way the shoulders work properly. And yeah, they actually work really well. So people who are complaining about that, you can fix it really easy just by tightening that screw. Okay. The other thing that I mentioned I wanted to do was this, and I wanted to see. It does look like that's molded in white, so he's just gonna have a white grundle. This is another case of just be careful, and we're just gonna take these out, and then we will install these. I think next we'll do the headlights. We'll add on the backpack parts and then do the headlights, and then we'll try and swap the legs. Mainly because that's the part that frightens me the most, is the leg swap. All this other stuff, I'm gonna set this on my mat. All this other stuff is kind of like really easy teardown and reassembly, but that pin punch, I've never punched a cap pin, but the fact I can see the other side makes me optimistic. So I'll come back when this is reassembled. Okay. It could be worse. It could be worse. I think I'm still gonna use the dark gray top. So I think that'll look all right. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. So let's. Another reason I want to use this dark gray top is I know the tolerance on the mushroom peg already. I don't have to worry about it. So then that'll do exactly what I wanted it to. Okay, cool. Sweet. That's so great. And then that gives him the blue inner shoulders too. So far, so good. Let's do the headlights real quick. That shouldn't take too long. So these are the pieces that we're going to be adding. I removed them from those sections on Cliff Jumper, and I think we can remove them from Chase. So one of the pegs is exposed from the back. I ended up just pushing on that. And that gives me just enough of a lip to get under there and pop that thing out. So let's get those out, and then make sure that we have the right ones for each side. It's pretty easy. They are like staggered on the one side, so it's pretty easy to see which ones we need. I think these cliff jumper ones will look a lot. Oh yeah, look at that. That's already a lot nicer. And then, well, it's a subtle change, but it's really nice. The silver looks way, 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 way better. And then we do it like that. There we go. And I might add some glue to those later on, but there we go. And then let's pop them on there. Ooh, wrong side. Pop them on there, appropriate. Like, look at that, man. Look how much better that looks on the front end. Oh, that's okay. That's gonna look really nice. It does look really nice. So now in vehicle mode, that's the front end. I do like it a lot in bot mode too. It's a subtle change, but a nice change. So it's been a minute since I punched a pin, so I'm just gonna punch it over top of this. We're just gonna put the pin punch right there, and I'm gonna try, ooh, and pop it a couple times. I'm gonna try and nudge it a few times and see if I can get it out. I'm gonna actually turn off the camera while I do this. Sorry if fans are in the background. Yeah, so I did it, but you can see the pin is still in there. I actually ended up having to run this under hot water and then punching the pin about halfway through and then wiggling this off of the pin. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the cliff jumper leg and just wiggle that part off the pin, just punch it through enough that I can get it through, and then run it under some hot water and pull this part off. So this is this leg, so we're going to try it on this leg first and just see if we can get it done. And I just realized I assembled the gooch. I'm gonna disassemble the gooch again and then do that, and I'll be back when I have both legs done. It took about maybe 15-20 minutes just to do that, so we'll see, maybe I can get it done faster. Okay, so after about 40 minutes and lots of hot water to get these legs swapped on there. They are swapped. He does have the darker colored thighs and knees with the blue boots and then these slight accents. So I've assembled the whole figure here. We're using Cliff Jumper's wheels, Cliff Jumper's chest, Cliff Jumper's arms, backpack, and inner leg assemblies. For Chase, we're using the boots, we're using the gooch, and we're using the shoulders and the arm flaps. So the only thing I don't have now is the head, and that should be getting printed either today or last night, so my friend actually might have it. I just need to check in on him. But let's get this guy into car mode to just kind of see how this looks. I'm very excited. I'm hoping it doesn't look like a total monstrosity mess. That would be very, very unfortunate. I'm also hoping I didn't accidentally warp any of these parts from the hot water. If I did, I may have to go back and hot water them again. That's the good thing though, is that you can always sort of unwarp some warped parts. So we're gonna do that. And yes, I installed the legs correctly. Yay, that was like my biggest fear, is that I was gonna get them and they were gonna be like just the wrong, like on the wrong leg. And it looks like nothing got warped from the hot water. Okay. Rotate the arms back like so. Bring the entire assembly down and under, tab it in on the legs. Bring the arms back and under the legs. And we kind of start closing everything up here. Okay, get the arm there to help hold everything in place. Okay, and then bring down the side pieces. Yeah, it's a little goofy. Yeah, it's a little goofy. It's a little silly, but it is what it is, and for the most part, no one's ever gonna see him. He's gonna be in robot mode most of the time anyway. It does mostly just look like Chase's alt mode, I will say, just like with all the white swapped for red. Yeah, it looks fine. It's fine. It's kind of what I expected. If I really wanted to add more red, I could put the red right here, and maybe that would fix it. Maybe I'll get like some vinyl or some like black paint and black out the window. That might help a little bit as well to kind of hide the crime that it is 2 different colors. But for now, that's fine. This is fine for what we're doing. That front end, like I said, that actually looks really, really good. So I am very happy with this. All right, it's time. Yeah, by the way, 3D printing does take this long. That's just how it looks. It's not totally been like 7 months since I started this project. So last we left off, we had this, and I was getting a head done for it. I had 3D modeled up a head. I've actually since then finished that 3D model 3 separate times. My first attempt ended up being way too small. There you go. There's that. And yeah, it didn't work, but it did have this rounded neck, which is something that I needed to add to the Laserfire model. After some quick CAD SketchUps and some heavy refinement, I have come up with this one. This is the new Laserfire chase head. Put a neck on the back, it's wider, it looks more like the chase head. And yeah, this works. I found someone who could 3D print them locally, thank God. And I actually have some white ones and some glow-in-the-dark ones. So, super cool guy. Huge, huge thank you to him. It's one of my coworkers. So, oh yeah, I got a job since I started this project too. I've had 2 jobs since I started this project. But yeah, these ones are printed super high def. So we're gonna take one of these. I do have one on this guy already, but it's not super high fidelity. It doesn't, the ear on the side over here, this part, you can see it's kind of messed up on that one. That's also over here. So I'm gonna get one of these good ones, which I have one right here. And we're gonna clean this up just a little bit, basically just make sure that hole fits on the neck peg. And then we're gonna paint this up. And Legacy Laserfire, Laserfire 3.0, Legacy Laserfire. I've kind of taken to calling this one Legacy or Age of the Primes Laserfire, and this one as G1 Laserfire. So we're gonna finish Legacy Laserfire and finally be done with it. Like I mentioned, this has been a months long project. It's something that I wanted to get done. So I kind of got ahead of myself and I actually ended up finishing the project off camera. But it was basically just me painting the head. I'll throw up some kind of a progress shot here. Painting the head, and then I had to trim out some plastic. So if I just grab the original one, you can see there's no gaps between the faceplate and the side of the helmet. The other one had some gaps on the had some material there that was in there on the model. I didn't like that as much, so I ended up carving that out with a little plastic chisel that I have. I ended up applying the sticker to him. The only thing I need to fix, he has a loose shoulder. That's a pretty easy fix. I'll just put a little bit of glue on there, tighten that up, clean nail polish, something. But oh, there he is. There is Legacy Laserfire. We got the gold badge on there. Head. I will put him on the desk. Shadow Shock looks pretty good, if not like wildly oversized in his hand, but it's pretty cool. I'm gonna put him on the desk. We're gonna check him out next to the what I'm calling. So we got Legacy Laserfire. We got G1 Laserfire. I'll put him on the desk. Bringing in the G1 Laserfire. Obviously, not a lot, if anything, has changed about him. He still has his hands from the update. No 38s over there. Nice head sculpt. Still from Steam Shield. Still the Steam Shield head sculpt and chest. Gold aligned Autobot symbol with the black windshield. Red forearms, red shoulders. Blue most everywhere else with hits of black. Very, very same color scheme here. Shadow Shock 2.0 or 1.5, whatever. And then we bring in Laserfire, Legacy Laserfire. Let's get a bit of a closer look here. So yeah, it still has the gold line Autobot symbol. The head looks really big. Like I actually shrank it in the CAD, so I don't know why it's that big. But there it is. And yeah, big, nice, bold gold Autobot symbol there. You know, a lot of the details are the same. That's part of the reason we went with the chase mold. Blue on the boots, black thighs. And the reason I went with this is because the blue lines up there, which lines up in vehicle mode. So that's the main reason we did that. And yes, if you were wondering, we just take this, open it up, fold it up and over. It does fully transform. That moves all the way down. It fully transforms with the new head. It is so awesome. I'm so finally done, finally put together. I'm glad that this video is done. I'm glad I can put this video away. But yeah, Ankle tilts is the main benefit here. Something I plan on doing is making a new wrist joint for him so he can use the old Laserfire's hands, because these are just on there with a little 4mm peg. So I'm basically planning on making adapters like this for the chase mold, so that way these hands off the original Laserfire can be used with the chase mold. But yeah, no, here we go. And the vehicle mode still looks pretty good. It's that it doesn't have the horns from Cliff Jumper, doesn't have the light bar from Chase, so looks super cool. It is a little silly because it's like just a red middle section, but I think it looks pretty good. And overall, I think the Legacy Laserfire looks pretty good. So we're gonna retire Laserfire, G1 Laserfire. He's gonna go up on the shelf, so that way he can rest and his joints won't deteriorate anymore, because he is getting a little loose in the hips, a little loose in the shoulders. We're gonna touch up this one's shoulder, and yeah, so expect some more Legacy Laserfire showing up in some future reviews, or Age of the Prime's Laserfire, I guess, because we're about to hit that. But yeah, there we go. This has been. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. Let me know if you want more content like this, where it's like customization and stuff like that. And I will see you guys in the next one. This has been Bots Obsession.